Hello, everyone. Welcome to an episode of Raregemsandcuts, and I am your host, CLIFFB. This is my opportunity for me and my guests to share with you the love and joy and power of music. Today, I have a very special rare gem here with me today. So, without any further ado, hold on. Let me get it right. Let me do like my teacher used to do. I think we're in the right key. You know about that. Let me introduce my guest today, who is a rare gem indeed and a good friend of mine as well. She is a singer, a songwriter, a producer, a wife, and I'm sure she'll add to the list of this, of the former lead singer of the group, the legendary group Chic. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce my friend, Miss Silver Sharp Logan.
Almost.
Welcome, Miss O.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hi. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm good. Add to my list. What did I leave out of my list?
Oh, let's see. You got
Come
a
on.
lot of it. Host of a show, dog mom.
Dog. Oh yeah, I forgot the dog mom. I wasn't sure about your dog's name. I didn't want to throw your dog in there without
Gizmo,
giving
he's sitting
dog.
right there too.
Gizmo. Yeah.
No, I love animals. I love music. I have a blessed life, and I'm glad to be, able to do what I do, even when it's challenging and difficult, and the world is crazy. But
Yeah.
I take it very seriously. So yeah, thanks for having me on your
You're
show.
welcome. No, thank you for taking the time. I know you're very, very busy and you keep busy, and I admire that. You know what I mean? You give me a little bit of inspiration to get up out of my chair and do some things, And like you said, being your own boss is a job in
Listen,
itself.
if you are your own boss, then you're busy doing
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's a blessing to be that,
Yeah.
especially by today's standards. It really is.
Yeah. So I have to give a little full disclosure about this, and I'm gonna pick your brain about this too. All right. Now, I don't know if you remember where we met professionally, or let's keep it there. Professionally, do you recall where we met?
Oh, where we met.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I want to
Okay.
say
Go ahead.
that
Let me hear it.
I don't know that I can pinpoint. I have moments that I remember, like in the early years. Because first of all, Mr. Booker, your legendary status as a superstar hairstylist was unmatched, especially at the time.
Mm.
And so I want to say that I kind of knew that. I'm trying to think if I knew that before or after. I want to say I knew that
Ooh,
already
you're
on
getting
some
close.
level. I want to
You're
say
getting
that I
close.
knew that. And then I remember hanging out with you and Wesley Snipes when you were Wesley's personal stylist. And
Right.
you had, and this was, I want to say, even before the famous Halle Berry haircut and
No, getting close.
all of that. I remember those things, but I'm trying to remember, like, when was the first time? Was it at an event or something, or
Okay.
was it through a
Okay.
friend? That's
Okay.
what I don't remember.
Okay. So
Now
here.
my
So
brain cells
yeah. I know.
are challenged.
We trying to rejuvenate our brain cells. And that's the role here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
because
what
I'm
I'm trying to
like,
do. Okay. So
uh-oh,
here. So
that's a good
let me
question.
run this to you. Okay. So uh, first and foremost, I'm gonna pull this out.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
I'm gonna give you some
Wow.
hints. All right. I'm gonna give you some hints. All right. So that's the first hint. You don't have to answer because I'm gonna answer this for you. Okay. This album here, 1992. Okay.
That's right.
That's
That's
when
when it was
that's when this
released.
was released. Now, 1991. I
God,
guess
I gotta write
that.
this down because I got a
Yeah.
feeling
Okay.
I remember
Okay.
everything.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Okay.
It comes to me in bits and pieces. All right. So we're gonna share this with everybody. This particular
Right.
album here,
Chic-ism. Yes.
yeah, came out 1992. Now, I had just completed working in New York with Spike. I finished working on Mo Better
Right.
Blues.
Right.
I
Okay.
was working
Right.
with
Right. I
Cinda, did
forgot about
Cinda,
that.
right?
Right.
And then I also finished working on this film, Strictly Business,
Right. Right.
with Halle
With
Berry,
Hallie.
right?
Yes, I remember that
So,
picture too.
okay. So what happened was, I was working in a salon in New York City. I had this friend of mine that worked at A&R over at whatever label you were on. Her name was Robin Lynch, right? She worked at,
Yes.
okay, so Robin called me up. She said to me, she says, Cliff, Chic is getting ready to do an album cover,
Yes,
and
this was
would
at
you like to,
Warner.
yeah, would you like to do it? And I was like, yeah, that's cool, right? So anyway, so I gathered up my little portfolio and I came to the studio. I come in the studio, y'all are in the studio, and I go into this little room. I got my little portfolio. There's kind of a dark studio, and in you walk and I start opening my portfolio. You know what I mean? Whatever. It was cool with me. I was like, I was a little nervous, but I was like, okay, this is cool. So you start going through my portfolio, right? And then you left the room and you came back in and you got the other lady that was working with you. What's her name?
Jen.
Uh, okay,
Jen
so Jen
Thomas.
came back
Yeah.
in the room. So then we're sitting on the couch. Y'all are flipping through my portfolio, looking at it. My portfolio wasn't that thick, but I had Harry in there. I had Mo Better
Right. You
Blues,
had
right?
right. You
You
had
had
some
flipping
serious
flipping
credits
through
at
it,
the
you know what I
time,
mean? Right,
right?
flipping through it, and then at one point, Nile came into the room. Nile Rogers came into the room, and he saw me. He chatted with me and introduced himself and so on and so forth. And then he left. Y'all looked at my portfolio, and then I left right after that, right? And I didn't get the job. Y'all
I
didn't
know
hire me.
who did that. I don't
I
remember
don't know.
who did it.
I don't know.
But
It
you know
doesn't really
what?
have a name right here.
Let me tell you. Okay, so this is what I remember. Damn, you got a good memory. Um, what I remember about that was the guy who shot the pictures. His name was Stefan Zandui. Stefan
Mhm.
Zandui, something like that. He was supposed to be
Yeah.
some big hot shot,
Yeah. I see his name here.
Italian photographer, right? He was a
Right.
big deal. And they were so big on doing cutting edge new stuff. Chic was known for fashion and all that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Right.
So, and oh my God. And you know what's funny is that I just took the CD of this and made it
Right.
my profile
I
picture. I
saw
just
that. I
found
saw that.
it. I
Yeah, I
just
saw that.
found that picture. And so what this is, right? And this photo shoot cost upwards of 30 grand, which at the time in 1992, even for Warner
Woo.
Brothers, that was
Oh yeah.
load of money.
Huge.
That was a
Huge.
huge budget. Now I didn't know any of this until later on, right? But
Right.
because I was trying to follow the rules and pay attention and interject where I could. But so they told us this concept of this, with chic mystique and the whole bit, right? And so the concept was we had to pose as though we were suspended in the
In the
air.
air. Right.
And
Like the cover.
so like hair could not
Right.
have any sort of jagged ends like
Right.
this.
Right.
It had to be smooth. Right.
Right.
It had to be beehivey and smooth. Cause I remember thinking to myself, I got all this fierce weave and y'all finna wrap it up. I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
but it was
Yeah.
it was for this thing. And so what we're doing is we're sitting on the edge of chairs and tables, looking like we're gonna fall. And
Okay.
that's how the picture was done. And however they went and cut around us, before green screens and all that, before regular people had all the
Right.
stuff we have now. At the time, this was cutting edge.
Right. Right.
And so everything we had on, that's why everything is tight and sleek and there's nothing furry and feathery and texture. That's why we were dressed like that. And it was supposed to look, I want to say, not outer space-ish, but
Right.
innovative and new and cutting edge and very,
Right.
groove is in the house, that kind
Right.
of,
Right. Right.
Delight meets
Right.
Vogue.
Right.
So I couldn't tell you who did our hair.
Yeah. And
Couldn't
it was
tell you. I don't
it's
remember
interesting.
because I want to say that we probably looked. So what did I didn't say anything? Did we meet? Did I know who you
No.
were?
No, listen, I think you just looked at my portfolio. Probably my portfolio spoke for itself. The Mo Better Blues, because
And
that
you
was
know
the
what
same
else I'm gonna tell
spike.
you?
What's
In
that?
in hindsight, and I mean
Mhm.
this in the nicest possible way. I mean
Mhm.
it in the nicest possible way.
Come on with it. Come on
But
with it.
there's something, okay, the Chic brand is very pop,
Right.
very,
That's what it
very
was.
pop,
I know what you're getting ready to say.
very not urban,
I know what you're getting ready to say. Yeah.
very that,
Yeah. Yeah.
okay? And as I think about it now, we were probably like, we want him. But Because why? How would you not want the guy who did Mo Better Blues and all that? How would you not want this? How would you not, as being Black girls with hair and weaves and stuff, how would you not want that person? So that's why I couldn't tell you who did our hair, because it was such a, we have to do this, we have to do that. You know me, I like big old glam and fabulous and all of that. And so when it was beehives and smooth and they started putting wigs on us, and I was like, and there was a part of me going, oh my God, what is happening? And the other part of me was going, go for the ride, take the experience, just be in the character. Be in the character. You know what I mean? Because you know what I mean? And so I was fighting with that all the time, because I've always had a very signature-ness about myself, even before Chic. My hair.
And you know, one of the things that happens too,
you know what I
politically,
mean.
yeah. See, you have to deal with politics too, because see, you got the big money, you got the record company,
right?
And you know,
who's this brother?
who's this, I don't know this guy.
Brother?
The photographer
okay, so
is probably
did,
like,
right?
The photographer is like, hey, you got to pay the photographer $10,000, and he's like, well, I'm not going to do the shoot unless I have my people, and so on and so forth. So there's politics in it. See, I'm a little man just coming on the block.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what
now
happened.
I wasn't
happened.
hurt. I wasn't hurt by it, right? But it, you know, I left out. It was cool. I got to meet you all, and I don't know if you also remember this. It was like some years later. I was hanging with you, and we went to Nile's house, and I guess you reintroduced me to him. And he was like, oh, yeah, I remember that brother. He said, I knew that brother was in trouble when the two of y'all ganged up on him in the room and looking at his portfolio. He said, oh, yeah, I knew the brother was in trouble then, right? And I remember he kind of said that. Yeah, I remember he said that.
And I'm thinking, because we would have been really like.
Yeah, y'all were double teaming me, going through my book, but you know, so I thought that would kind of
oh my God,
open something up for you.
It's
you know
so
what I mean?
true to who. It's so true, because I send makeup artists and people like that to therapy all the time. Still right now.
Yeah. He said, "Oh, I knew you were in trouble. I knew you were in trouble when the two of them were on you."
You will appreciate this, because part of why I started wearing braids so much is because, so I forget what year this must have been. I don't know. 94-ish or something, right? And we went to England to do the Jonathan Ross show. Now, people know who Jonathan Ross is now, because you know we have the internet and nothing is exclusive anymore. At the time, Jonathan Ross was like the Johnny Carson of England, and we were going to do the Jonathan Ross show. And this is me again, trying to be cooperative, trying to be, fall in line, do it, as it comes, right? So we get there, and I had, big old weave or whatever I had at the time. And this is when wearing the big waves and the wave iron and stuff was really hot, right? So I had that whole look going. But now we're at the TV studio, and of course they have European women who are not familiar with Black women's hair or Black women's weave. Like that. And back then, I was having a partial, so the back would be for fullness, but my hair was in that thing, right? So you always get my hairline and everything, right? And so we're in hair and makeup, and I was already feeling some kind of way, because I already know how this goes down.
Right.
Trying to be cooperative. I was trying not to be a pain in the ass. You were in England, you doing a TV show, don't act a fool, right? Same thing happened when we did Johnny Carson, because we did Johnny Carson too. And on the Johnny Carson show, same exact scenario, two different places, two of the biggest moments in my life and Chic life.
Wow.
We're at Johnny Carson. I'm in hair and makeup. They got white women. They have white women on set, period, in the story.
I understand.
I don't know nothing about none of this. I get in there. She rubs some sort of liquid, some odd something, and then my hair is Cliff.
Ooh.
I was through, right?
That's right.
We're in Acapulco. Then they do something. They have they're using the Marcells and the little stove, right?
Right.
This man pulls out the thing. I was like, wait. It's too hot. No, it's fine. He goes to clamp it, the front. It's like this much hair, right? Goes to clamp that front. And I kept saying, it's too hot. You got to dab that towel. When he takes it off, my hair is still attached to the thing. This is right before I'm going on television.
Oh my goodness. Oh,
I was like, don't be in my dressing room when I come back.
Oh
I
no.
was I was like
Whoa.
hyperventilating. I was, and see, you can't upset me before a show. Don't come tell me no bad news. I don't care
Ooh.
what it is. Wait till I've said thank you and good night. Period. End of story.
Wow.
This food I'm burned off the front of my hair. I was hot. And and after that, I called Nile and Bernard. I said, let me tell you something right now. I am the most cooperative workhorse you will ever meet in your life. I will come, I will deliver every time. But when you mess up my hair,
Yeah.
have a problem.
Absolutely.
They were
I
like,
know that. I know what that's about.
I said, let
I
me
know
tell
what
you
that's about.
something. My hair and my makeup,
Yeah.
we gonna have to fix this because
I
I
know what
am
that's about.
not gonna sit in just anybody's chair ever again. As long as I'm black, I'm never gonna do it.
I know what that's about. Yeah.
Yeah, and after that, we got to do some other gig in Acapulco gig, and he was like, "You could take a hairstylist or a makeup artist."
Good for
I
you.
was like,
Which
"That's
one?
like saying I can take a right arm or a left arm, but you can't have both."
Yeah. What did you take? What did you pick?
So I went and got my hair braided because I
Oh,
used to
okay.
work in
Okay.
Genesis. I knew my
Okay.
way around some hair, so I knew how to do it.
That's
But
mine.
I know better than to try to do it every day on set for stuff.
Absolutely.
I ain't like
Absolutely.
that, you know. So I went and got my hair braided, and we took a makeup artist.
Yeah. Yeah. Smart move.
Because
That's
I'm
smart.
like, at
That's
least
smart.
I can do my
Yeah.
hair. And if I know how to roll it, braid it up, mousse it, and
Yeah.
get it full and bouncy and all of that. And that became my look for years because we did not have one person
Yeah.
or this one or that one that traveled with us. And for them, because I came so ready, it wasn't a priority. They're like, oh, the
Right.
girls will be fine. They always look
Yeah.
great. I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yeah.
wait,
Yeah.
look great. Wait a minute.
You got
We
to guard that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so to this day, I am very particular. As you know, my hair, I
Yeah.
still go to salons. I have a private stylist, who, does what she does. I've been
So
that way.
let me ask you about that too, because there's so many things I want to talk to you about, right? So
Yeah.
you have mentioned to me, and I've known this over the years, that when you grew up listening to and watching things that have inspired you and have given you a lot of inspiration, one of the things that you had mentioned to me about your wow moments is share,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
share,
Come on,
that's
records.
where
Wow.
the image comes from, right? Where you have to really protect the image, right? So I guess
Absolutely.
you used to sit and watch the Sonny and Cher show and be overwhelmed with the
Faithfully.
fashion and the
Faithfully.
production
Faithfully.
and taking care of the way you look, right? Right? Yeah, yeah.
Because
Sonny
I
and
want to look
Cher.
like that when I'm 900 years old too.
Absolutely,
You know.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your upbringing. Obviously, music is a really wow thing for you. Performing is a really wow feeling for you. Have you always had that in you as a child
Uh,
growing up? Where did that come from?
actually, I do. Actually, I did. My mother, I do come from a family that had talent, but they were basically educators. And, for Black people, that's saying something. My grandfather, her father was a college president, military. He's, grand boss list of, Omega Psi Phi, like
Mhm.
the elite, if you will, if there is such a thing in African American community at a time when it wasn't popular. My grandmother was a pianist and organist and a professor at the schools, as a member of the Links and AKA, and again, all the societal things that Black people of any particular note would have. And so I do kind of come from that, and that's my Logan side, and my Sharp side is my father's mother. I took her name because I didn't really have a relationship with him. That's a whole nother episode for a whole nother
Yeah.
day.
Right.
But
Right.
that's where my Sharp name, Logan Sharp, come from. And so my mother too, who is a master, has several degrees and things, also was the lead singer and everything and all the plays she was in. She's got a
Okay.
massive classical voice, and she was a dancer, is a dancer. And so it's like when artists have children, your kids go to rehearsal with you. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
Much like
Mhm.
if a football player has a child, 9 out of
Yeah.
10, you're gonna be sitting on field somewhere doing your
Right.
homework while I'm in
Right.
practice. So I had that kind of life. My mom, although she was in education and school and valedictorian, all that stuff as she was coming up, um, but she was also in theater and in dance and in music. So it's never not been a part of my life. I literally was born into it.
Mhm.
So, you get here and, there's organs and piano. My grandfather was a violinist. While he wasn't a virtuoso, while he didn't make it a career, he played and he read. My
Mhm.
grandmother was a serious accompanist. And my sharp grandmother, who was not musically inclined, but she was West Indian and very, she was who taught me. She was a Bible toting Catholic, believed in um, just a way of being with people and having respect and knowing how to talk to people,
Okay.
knowing how to be
Okay.
respectful. So
Mhm.
having
Mhm.
manners as a little kid was major.
Yeah.
We didn't get to say ain't and can't and all of this. We couldn't say, can I get? You had to say, may I have?
Okay.
Period. And
Okay.
it wasn't like we were all proper or better than it wasn't that. It was just that they had an education uplift because that's just what they came from. So it
Mhm.
moved into music. And so my mother was always in music and I gravitated as well. What I didn't know is that I had production skills at a young age. So you know how you can get with your family and you get a song that everybody likes and you make up a little routine and you do the little song,
Mhm.
whatever. Well, every summer we would go to our family house in North Carolina, which we still have and is still there. And we went there for summers and I'd hang out with my cousins, whatever. And at the end of the summer, we would put on a little show. Well, we didn't just do one little song, but
Mhm.
like that. It was a production. I had costumes, I had curtain call, I had intermission, I had a script for everybody. Everybody had a
Mhm.
part. We did,
Mhm.
and I think they were like, how does she know how to do this? And aside from being with my mother or being in places where I could take it all in, I can't really explain why I know how to do it, but I just
Mhm.
knew how to
Mhm.
put those kind of things together. I am an extremely imaginative visual person. So when you
Mhm.
speak about how things make you feel, um, I have visuals like that. I can feel visuals almost.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so it allows me to go, okay, well, I might can't have pyro, but I can certainly have fancy lights. Or I might can't have, you know what I mean? Like, because if you allow your imagination to create something and you see something and, oh, I can see it or I can taste it or I can feel it. And even if you don't have that exact thing, you can get a little closer than if you just said, well, I can't do that, so I'm not doing anything.
Mhm. Does that you think, like I held up the album with Cher, does that kind of come from watching some of these productions like Sonny and Cher
Absolutely.
and
I mean,
but another one you kind of mentioned to me too was like the Jacksons,
oh,
the whole performance
their
element of,
polish had
you know what I mean?
polish. They
Yeah.
had polish before we knew that that's what it was.
Right, right.
Michael Jackson had swagger before swagger was a thing.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and being coached, being taught, being able to
Right.
watch. It's no different than, like I said, with when a young kid is athletically inclined
Yeah.
and they study the greats and they watch over and over again. Like I didn't want to get in trouble. I wanted to go watch rehearsal.
Wow. Okay.
You know, I
Okay.
I I didn't necessarily want to even when I was old enough to drive and go to places and sit in and sing. There used to be a spot in Carolina. It's come to me in a minute. Xanadu or something like that. Xanadu it was called. And there was a woman named Fabian Rivers, and there was a group called Rivers and Company, and they used to perform faithfully every week. And I would drive down there, and I would just sit there and watch them for hours, and hope one day that she called me up to do something or to sit in or sing
Ooh.
background. And one day she did.
She did,
And
huh?
yeah, and I couldn't tell you the song. I don't remember what it was. I want to say it was, something by Roberta Flack or, Motown, something like that. It would have been. And I was ready. And, now let me go back. I was a dancer first, right? So I started out as a dancer. I was in dance companies, dance troupes, whatever. I didn't take singing seriously. My mother has an incredible mezzo soprano classical voice, big, dominant voice, and I didn't sound like that. So it intimidated me. But I could dance my face off, and I would pull back a rug and move out some furniture, honey, and put on The Greatest Love of All, and twirl for points, and and yes, honey, and pirouette and grand mons and all that. And he'd be in here giving it to you. Think you had some interpretive dance, honey? You could tell me nothing. And I had danced all the way up until I came back to DC to go to Duke Ellington, and I went to Duke Ellington for dance. And at Ellington, I was dancing with Adrian Bolton and Laverne Reed, and but I was really young, and I was hanging with the big kids, and but just to be in the room was a lot. Just to be in the company, just to learn the ensemble pieces, was you're in it, So while some kids was out getting in trouble, I was doing that, And by the time I got to the, let's see, 9th, 10th grade, I guess. And my mom would always be like, I don't know why you don't sing. I don't know why you don't sing. And I'd be like, I wasn't feeling it. And then we would go and audition for things. We weren't supposed to get the gigs. We were just supposed to learn about rejection. But a lot of times we would get the gigs.
This is in Washington,
when I was at Ellington, yes. Yep.
Okay,
in Georgetown in DC. And then we would get the gigs, whatever they were.
Right.
And to sort of teach us about ourselves, they would threaten us sometimes, don't you miss class, don't you be late, you ain't written or whatever. And it terrified me because I thought, how are you gonna get kicked out of an art school? How are you gonna explain that to your degree toting mother? Really? Not my mother,
Right.
And so I went up to the vocal department one day. I got scared. They were auditioning. This was the season of auditions there. And I went up to the vocal music department. I pulled the late Edward Jackson, who is the reason I have a singing career and a voice this day. And I pulled him aside. I said, look, I'm in the dance department. I've been dancing a long time, but I can sing a little bit. And, I don't know what's going to happen next year. So I just want to sing this song for you. And you can just tell me, and I hit him with it like that. I'm like, I ain't finna go through all these auditions. I ain't putting a number, putting it on my, I ain't doing none of that. I'm coming right to you. I'm gonna sing this song. And you tell me if I need to stay in the dance department or not, And I sang this song called If You're in Love, and it had all these changes, right? Give up, you say, no use to try. You lost your way, and love can't find you where you are. I mean, it was, just the melody was all over the place, right? But it had this big, and I want to be the first to know.
Now that's a big deal that you can remember that, because you probably can't even remember what you did last week, right? But
but I remember that song. Yes. And I used to dance to it for hours.
Okay.
Hours I would dance to this song. And so I pulled him in the 3rd floor stairwell where the acoustics are unbelievable. And I sang that song to him. And he said, what department are you in? I said, the dance department. He said, not anymore. And I said, okay, but the catch is I have to be in your class. Because the other vocal teachers were so intimidating. Child, people would come out of their rooms crying. Good singers, good classical. Woo! Then I was like, I can't. I'm not gonna make it. And he nurtured my heavy, raspy. I've always sounded like that, whispery, soulful, thing, and said, that's your thing. Embrace it. But technique is technique. Training is training. Breathing is breathing. You still need the same breathing to sing a classical piece that you need to sing in church or sing R&B or sing anything else. And he never gave me grief for singing popular music. And a lot of the instructors, they weren't with that, classical, not even gospel. That was too hard, and you can't be, you can't, to them, that was just boom to the voice. You know what I mean? So, and I get it, because classical training is a whole nother animal. It is the pinnacle, different. The pinnacle of singing.
Absolutely.
In the way that you use the body differently, because they're not amplified and they're not, they're not, and the technique is real. Like my body
Yeah.
hurts when I'm trying to pull
Yeah.
up my real technique, you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
And using the diaphragm and the breathing and dropping the jaw and all the
Yeah.
ugly
Yeah.
things you have to do to
Uh-huh.
get a note out.
Yeah.
When I am, I do have taped lessons that I still use to this day when I
Mhm.
need to warm up. Now I talk entirely too much because I'm a business owner.
Okay.
You have to. But I started out, dancing that led to singing. That here I am still singing, but doing a lot of
So
songwriting, doing a lot of producing.
when did you let me just pull Chic into this a little bit, right? I mean, I might be going a little bit ahead a little bit, but how did you fall off into that? How did that occur to you? Were you gigging around Washington D.C. prior to
Yeah.
that? Did somebody just kind of say, "Hey, there's this girl. Hey, boop." How did that come about?
Kinda. I was singing in several bands, in main bands. I was a main singer in like two bands, and then picking up little gigs here and there. And I was also singing with Gene Carn
Okay.
and another friend of mine, the late Nathan Heathman. He passed many years ago. Nathan and I were very good friends. He was a prominent musician here in DC at the time, and he played for he played for a lot of people. He played for Phyllis Hyman, he played for Gene, he played, for Norman Connors and that whole clique of people, because Lonnie Liston Smith, Ronnie Laws, all those kind of cats from that
Oh
whole
yeah.
era that
Yeah,
came
yeah.
here and played at Blues Alley a lot and places like that. So, and the Ibex, for those of you that may remember the Ibex
Ooh,
apartment
okay.
that's now a loft apartment building, but at
Yeah,
the
yeah, right.
time we used to do open mics at the Ibex, and Nathan was
Yeah.
running one of those open mics, and I would go and sit and sing with him. I'd sit on the side of the piano bench and just harmonize to whoever came up. I never competed in the open mics. I sat with him and just sang for whoever came up. So I
Okay.
have a vast vocabulary of songs. I don't know if I got 8,000 with all that you got behind you,
Yeah, yeah,
but I
right.
knew a lot of songs because, that's what I was doing with him. One day he threw me out front and said, "Go sing this song. Get up from my bench and go on out there and sing the song." And so I started doing it like that. And then Gene, he got hired to play for Gene. Called me, "What are you doing? Whatever, we used to have this thing. What are you doing? Great, cancel it. Listen." That was our script. "What are you doing? Okay, great,
Mhm.
cancel it." And
Mhm.
and it was like, because we're about to do I'm about to play for Gene Carn. Do you know who that is? I was like, "Do I know who that is? My
Yeah,
mother
right.
has all her records, and blah, blah, blah. Of course I know who that is." And he was like, "Well, come over here and do this background for me," because I would sing all this background every time we did, anything. So I knew everything.
Mhm.
And so I went, and this particular night, Jean was kind of trying everybody out, right? This wasn't her band. We were, cats in DC was playing with her. And because of Nathan, I was with her and I knew her stuff. And I was singing, next thing you know, I'm singing background. It's like, "Okay, what y'all doing next week?" It's like singing with you, and that kept going. Well, Gene Carn is a staple also in the whole Philly music um,
Yeah, absolutely.
world. And
Yeah.
thereby, she and Deanna Williams, the great Deanna Williams, are very well connected. Deanna, who is, also connected with Kenny Gamble and Leon Huff and that whole crew. And
Mhm.
so, and Deanna and Jean are very close. And I met Deanna through Jean. Jean, Deanna, and another lady named the late Philippa Brisbane. They literally took me under the wing. It was like, okay, this is the next whoever at the time. And this is what you did back then. You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
would get plucked out of things to be, "We're going to get this one signed. We're going to get this one." So they had plucked me out of the whole, our whole scene here, and was, I'd done a photo shoot at Deanna's house, like they were making it work. "We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this." And I would come back and I would do my little gigs and what have you. And then a few years later, Deanna calls me one morning and says, "Silver, wake up, wake up, wake up. This is your gig." I was like, "What
Mhm.
are you talking about? Remember Chic? You remember Chic?" I was like, "Yeah." "You mean Freak Out?" "Yeah."
Mhm. Mhm.
"Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards are putting Chic back together, and this is your gig." And I'm thinking, the hell am I gonna do? How they gonna, what? And she,
Mhm.
they need, they're auditioning girls. This is your gig. Like,
Wow.
not you
Wow.
got the gig,
Right.
but
Right.
you know what I mean? She was like, oh, boo
Yeah.
boo, come. I got something. This gonna
Yeah.
be perfect
Yeah.
for you,
It's
type of
gonna it's gonna fit. It's gonna
right. It's
fit.
gonna
She knew.
fit. And she knew the minute she called me.
Right.
And she and Nile had been on a plane coming from AFRAM convention or something, some music convention. And he was saying to her how, we've been auditioning all these girls, and, we've auditioned 70, 80 girls, and we just have not found the girl. And she said, do you know Silver? Do you know Silver Logan Sharp? And he was like, who? She
Mhm.
was like, 1 second, and they were literally getting off the plane. She called me at like 5 or something in the morning. Silver, wake up, wake up, wake up. I need to talk to you. It's Deanna, boo, wake up. And she's telling me about all this. She says, listen, I'm going to call you back in a little while, you know, and, I'll explain, because they were just getting off the plane. It was some ungodly hour in the morning. Of course, I sprung out of the bed, Mom! I was like, oh my God, oh, Deanna called me. And I didn't know what she wanted yet, really. She
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
did I remember Chic? And they were putting this band back together, and and she was gonna call me back. So I'm like, okay, Chic, I'm flipping through records. We have no internet back then. We weren't Googling
Right. Right.
nothing, okay? We wasn't
Right.
Googling nothing. This
Right.
was,
No.
nothing
No
happened
YouTube.
yet.
No
There was no
YouTube.
YouTube.
No
There was no
MySpace. No.
nothing,
Right.
nothing.
Right.
There was no
Right.
social media. That was
Right.
not a
Right.
thing.
Right.
So
Did you
I'm
did you did you
literally,
have did you have any Chic records? Did you have any Chic
yeah,
records?
but
Oh, okay.
all,
Okay.
because those was 70s, 80s, so it's
Right.
like, what the hell is that? And you got to go dig through the old records to find, it wasn't on top. Let me just say
Right.
that it wasn't on
Right.
top. Because who was I listening to then? I don't know. I don't remember who we listened to in the 90s. I don't know, Stevie, whoever.
Yeah. It could be
But
90. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't remember now. But this was in the, this was in
Yeah.
90.
Yeah.
90.
Yeah. Yeah.
So whoever was hot, I'm sure I was what we were listening to. But so I'm flipping through going, Chic, Chic, Chic. Oh yeah, they did this and they did that. Now, mind you, I ain't even made all the connections. I have not thought of Duran Duran or anybody else. I don't even think I was
Yeah.
zeroing in on the Boss and the Diana Ross
Right.
songs yet. I was just
Right.
thinking about the Freak and Good Times and I Want Your Love,
Right.
their main
Right.
hits. I don't think I was thinking about Sister Sledge, none of that
Right.
stuff.
Right. Right.
And so a few hours later, Deanna calls me back, but now she has Nile on the phone. So it's a three-way conversation. And she's like, Silver, honey, this is, I've got Nile on the phone and da 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 da, and he's going to tell you what they're doing. And I'm like, okay, And so he's like, hey, Silver, and I quote, he says, I hear you're the shit. And I was like, well, yeah, and I was like, well, yeah, I am. Go ahead. What else did you hear? So it was kind of like an immediate icebreaker. Everybody started laughing, but that was the first thing he said.
I
And then
love it.
he says, well, we're putting Chic back together. We're signed to Warner Brothers now, since the 70s. And I'm just listening because I don't forgot all of it. I was 10 in the 70s when this record came out,
Yeah.
so when Chic was hot, I should say. And while I was a fan and I was roller skating and all of that, I was in 1977, I was 10.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I too had to go, okay, think. And so he was like, so when can you come to New York? I was like, I can come right now. I had a bag. In the time that it took her to call me that morning and call me back, I was dressed and ready to go because I didn't know what was going to happen. And back then, you could catch a shuttle every half hour to New York.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Remember that US
Yeah.
Air?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And so because that's how we did it. You could be in DC in 10 minutes and turn around.
Eastern Airlines.
And Eastern Airlines, yeah, Eastern
Airlines.
Airlines. and I was like, I come today. So sure enough, they booked a flight. I took the shuttle. Now I want to say I had a big, hair. I probably had
Right.
some weave or something fabulous, but and I remember putting on this cute, I think it was a white top, and I had on leggings, and I had on the black leggings, and I had on these over the knee suede platform boots, right? They were the baddest thing I owned at the time, and they were black suede. I would buy them today if I could find the boots, and they were platform heels, and they came over the knee. And, I got on. And back then, we did not take off shoes and all of that kind of stuff. You had all your jewelry on, and and you could just back then you got dressed up to travel. You know what I mean? You was pulled up to travel. And I took the shuttle. They sent this big old, a nice car to come and pick me up. Of course, back then they sent limos for everything. And I get to Skyline Studios in Manhattan. That's where they were working out of. And I'm in there and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't know what they're gonna ask me to do. Right.
Were you nervous? Were you nervous?
I was, but I was anxious and ready.
Okay.
Like I was ready to present. I was like,
okay.
What you got? I did what? You want me to say what? Bring it. Count it off. Let's go. I was and Deanna had sort of, I think when I think back now, kind of almost subconsciously set that tone. Because when she called me, she said, "Boo, this is your gig. This is, like if you act right, this gonna be good for you." You know what I mean? Because they are who they are. They've been off the scene all this time. They're making a comeback, and you're about to be in the band. You're about to be their singer, right? Now, being their lead singer and all that wasn't a determination yet.
Right.
That happened later. So let me tell you, this is wonderful now that you have me reliving this, right?
Yeah, no, I want you to. Carry on, baby.
Okay, so I get there and I'm at Skyline, and they had been seeing, girls that day, I guess, because I saw one girl leave and I didn't know it at the time, but thinking back, it was like, oh yeah, I did see a couple girls leave out, right? So they left and what have you, and I'm sitting in this waiting area, and back then, and probably still now, they had the double doors, those huge thick double doors like this, to cut off the studio from the outside, and they would have a little window on it, a little circular window, and so I could see Nile and Bernard's heads pressed out like this, looking out the little window, going, So they come out. And I stand up and he's like, Silver. And I was like, yes, how you do? That whole thing. And he said, damn, if you could sing half as good as you look.
You look, right?
We're in business. I was like, all right, come on. Where's the mic? Right? Oh, I was like, okay. Come on, boots. My boots and my hair was working for me, right? So I was like, well, I laughed and I was like, oh, that's sweet. Thank you. I was like, okay. So we went on to the booth and they started talking about, the plans and this, that, and the third. And they started playing stuff. And so he was like, so he played something. I think it was
some Chic songs you had to sing?
Yeah, it was the Chic-ism record. They were recording. Okay. Now they had been working on this record already. So Fonzie Thornton and Michelle, they had the session singers come in and sing the parts at the time, right? And demo it out. So this record here, they were recording this record. So this was 90. They were signed to Warner Brothers. They were making the Chic-ism record.
Oh, okay.
Most of the songs, a lot of these songs on this whole record, this is my first Chic record.
Yeah.
They were putting these songs together. So when I first went in, I think the first song was it was Chic Mystique, because it was the Nile said, okay, I want to see if you can do this. What your love does for me, the key that sets me free to be what I can be with full intensity. When your name I speak, sometimes my soul gets weak. All my eyes can see is you in a world with me. That's the bridge on Chic-ism, right? So we're sitting at the console. And Bernard's sitting behind me. I'm sitting in the middle, and Nile's sitting over here. We sit at this big old console, And so he sings that to me, real staccato and like that. And I sing that back. So I sing it back down to him just like that. And he's like, they look at each other. They're like, wow. Go in the booth. Go in the booth.
Wow.
I go in the booth. And I'm like, and see, because I know my way around in the studio, I knew what to ask for. I spoke the language, so to speak. It wasn't foreign to me.
Cool.
It's like, listen, can you, whatever. Can you hear yourself? Yeah. You can turn me up just a little bit. I need a little bit of this, a little bit of that. They were like, oh, okay. It's okay.
That's cool.
Find out. So when they pulled the track up, And I started cutting it. And then he was like, you know, can you double it? I said, yeah, but I need you to split the cans because I need this. They were like,
What? Yeah, yeah. Who was this girl, huh?
and I wasn't like trying to ball out, but I know my techniques that I can get it done fast.
Right.
When I'm doubling vocals, if you put the one I'm singing, the one I am actually singing on one side and who I'm singing with on the other side, then I lock better
Wow.
than
Okay.
if they're just panned evenly. I don't know
That's
why,
cool.
but that's
That's
just my
cool.
technique. And so I don't even think I had honed in on it like that, but I would say, could you put the other girls over there so I can sing to this one over here, you know? And I cut it, and they offered me the job that day, that moment. And this is what else is funny is there's something in DC called the Whammies, the Washington Area Music
Yeah.
Awards, right? Your hit.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
And at the time, I was playing with my band, and we were playing up at TJ Remington's and places like that. And it was Whammy Week in DC, and I was nominated for a Whammy, which also meant that I was also one of the bands that had to play that week for the Whammy festivities. So different clubs were hosting different things, and different bands who were listed on the thing had to play. Well, I was slated to play. So I'm sitting in New York at Skyline Studios. I've just sung a little bit. Nile Rodgers and Bernard Edwards are saying to me, we would love for you to come and, you know, be in the band and da 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 da, boop, 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 boop. You know, when can you start type of thing? And I was like, so look, I would love to. Yes, I could start now, except I said, but I have to go home because I have a gig.
No, you
Yes,
didn't.
yes, I did. Because I was
What?
thinking, I can't not do this. It's
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
it's like in 2 days, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and that would have been a big thing. And so, you know, I said I could come right back. I can come right back because I was going home that day. I came up for the audition. And I was going right back home. You know, I
Right.
didn't
Right.
stay overnight. And back then, you could do that on the shuttles. You know, so I said, I have a gig on like whatever day it was, which is like 2 or 3 days later, whatever it was, you know, it was a few days after that audition that had just come out of nowhere, you know? So I said, I'm nominated for a Whammy. And again, they looked at each other and they looked back at me and they said, I'm sorry, I'm what?
What? A what? A what? Who?
And I said, well, it's like the Grammys, but it's a DC thing. And I'm nominated this year and it's a big deal. And okay. And then I know they were chuckling amongst themselves, you know, when I think back,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
was serious. I was like, shoot, that's a big deal in my town, right?
Right. Right.
So, and I said, I am booked. It will be a mess if I, you know, like I wasn't even considering backing out. I'm going to go do my gig, pack my bag, and then I'll come back and I'm all yours. Now, I had other gigs to get out of. I was on the Odyssey at the time. I was, you know, on the
Mhm.
Spirit of Washington. You know, that was one of my regular gigs back then, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I had to make some arrangements to, you know, to get out of it. But I think when I look back, if nothing else, what they pulled from it after 20 years. I mean, I was in the band for 6 years with Bernard before he passed. And then I
Mhm.
left in 2010, which is about 19 and a half, 20 years, give or take, because I don't remember the exact day that that happened. And I'm
Mhm.
sure that I have it written down, log somewhere, but I, you know, don't know if I can put my hands on it. A few floods ago, a few houses
Right.
ago,
Right. Right.
kind of
Right.
thing. But what I think they learned about me was my level of integrity and my level of loyalty,
Mhm.
and that I was not just going to back out of something uh, that was important. And it wasn't
Yeah.
important to just me. That was a very big deal at the time. It's still a big deal, you know,
Yeah.
but the Whammies, they still going. And I've
Yeah.
received another one since then, you know.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was okay, you got to do this, you got to do that, but you can get out of this one, you can get out of that one, you can, you know, give this gig to somebody else, but this one you have to do, and you know, and because I was gigging, you know, I didn't
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
when I came with them. I was a working musician, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and singer, and so and I had obligations. That's how I, you know, made my money, and
This,
so
this, you know, this. I don't mean to cut you up, but
mm,
like it's so interesting because I had kind of forgotten about the whole in between period with Chic and this record. I didn't realize that this was the one that they were coming back on.
that was the
You
comeback
understand?
record.
This was the
Yeah,
comeback. Okay,
yeah.
I did not. I'd kind of forgotten that because you know
Hmm.
Chic, 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 and then music changes and you got the hip hop coming in there and all these
Yeah.
other type
And
of
that
things.
record is
This was this.
awesome. That's an
Yeah.
awesome record right there.
It's hard to find too. It's a very hard
It's
record to
very,
find.
I don't
Yeah.
have that,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I
It's
mean?
hard
I
to find.
don't have a vinyl at all,
Yeah.
but the video was off the chain. I mean, it was
Yeah.
way ahead of its time. And
Yeah.
Chic,
Absolutely.
Mystique, and Your Love both went to #1 and #2,
Whew.
I think, on the dance
Now,
charts.
now let me just tell you
Yeah.
about that particular song. That particular song, that's the song that I really love. That's
Which
the
one?
wow song. Your love. Your
Oh,
love. I
listen.
love I love that song. Yeah,
Your
yeah.
love
You
makes
blew that one out the
heaven
box.
work.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
That
Love
one
that song.
that's a real wow record with me, you understand? And I like this too because I know you as a singer, and so this is the one where you had a chance to get up front
This
as
is
opposed to
the
just doing the
record.
chic stuff.
Exactly. This record, and I'm going to tell you, even then, I think in my audition they knew, okay, she can hang, right? And then My Love's for Real. My Love's for Real is my favorite song on that record.
Mhm.
And My Love's for Real was that song. I just knew that song was going to be a single with a video.
Mhm.
But My Love's for Real was that record that I got to really bite into. And I remember at one point they were like on the talk back, can you ad lib?
Mhm.
I was like,
Yeah.
ah.
Yeah. You can hear that in the song. Yeah. Yeah.
So I said, all
Yeah.
demure, sure. They were like, okay, well, we're gonna let the outro roll, and just do what you can, sing as much as you want. Every note that I sang on that record till the fade out is on that record.
Yeah. And I know
Every
exactly
note,
the song. Yeah.
every note. They were like,
Yeah.
okay, you can stop now. I was like,
Yeah.
shit, I will ad lib your butt under the table.
Yeah.
And then, and it wasn't even, I think then they were like, okay, we've got our front girl, because after the first day or two on the job of me being there singing just with them, just me with them, and they were trying me out on different things, Chic, Mystique, Your Love, because those were the first two singles and title track and all of that. And
Mhm.
something else I want to say, I think it was Make My Funk the Chic Funk or something. And so by day 3, they were bringing girls in to sing with me,
With you.
because now they're looking for the second girl,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So I had now set okay, one down, we're good.
Right.
Now if we can
Right.
get another one of these, we'll be good.
Right.
So they kept bringing girls in to sing with me. Some of them had the look, but not the voice. Some of them had the voice, but not the look.
Mhm.
Some of them had great voices, but had never been in the studio before. Just, they had not sung with other singers they don't know, and, just little things. It just wasn't quite,
Mhm.
so after 2 days or so of that, it's so funny now. It's so funny now, how bold I was back then, but I was so sure. And at first everybody was like, when I say everybody, it's like you call home and go, Mom, so this is what I did today. And I was so and so and so and so and so and so. And I did this many songs and I did, and all this kind of stuff. So I'm giving the report. Now they're trying to find these girls. And they sent this one girl back, and I'm giving her the lowdown of what happened that day with the auditions. And so, okay, some folks were like, well, don't say nothing. Just let them worry about that. You just do you. You just sing. And you just da, 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 da. Right. And on the other hand, I'm going, yeah, but, whoever it is, we got to be cool, because you got to be, when you're in a band with
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
it's,
It's like a marriage. It's like a
it's,
marriage. It's
yeah,
a
man,
relationship.
you got to
Yeah.
like each other a little.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
have that. She over there and I'm over here, and on stage
Yeah.
this, and on
Doesn't
stage we
work.
like whatever. I can't. I've never had that in the bands I've been in.
Yeah.
So I don't operate like that. So I was concerned about it, because some girls coming back like, oh, okay, you're the singer.
Mhm.
Okay, well,
Mhm.
watch this.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
would be like, oh, wait a minute. No, wait, I've been here for 4 days, heifer. Don't try it. This is my gig now. But not and not possessive yet, because you don't know what they want yet.
Right.
You still, you know what I'm saying? But I'm
Mhm.
in it, and they were careful, but they were like, okay, well, we know she can hang. We know she can do it, because we 3-4 days in now, they done sung me like a workhorse, and I'm like, bring it on. You cannot outdo me with ad libs and all that stuff. You just can't. And so after like the third or fourth day, I was like, I said to them, I said, step in my office. Again, they looked at each other and said, did she just say step in her office? I was like, yes. So I pulled him in the hallway. That was my office, in the hallway by the bathroom at Skyline. And I pulled him in, in there. Because, back then you didn't have no cell phones. So every time I need to go call somebody, I go in the office down the hall. So I said,
Right.
step in my office. And so they come out. I said, look, I know y'all trying to find somebody, and, you bringing girls in and out, and this one can do that, this one can do that. And they had one girl that I was singing with. This is what made me say it. And we were in there, and they liked her, right? And so we were trying to sing together and stack vocals, and it was just taking forever. And she just could not. She wasn't horrible. She wasn't bad. She could sing, but we weren't gelling. And I was like, well, if that's what you're looking for, we'll be here all day. I could have sung all this shit and stacked it 3-4 times by now, by the time we get one line right, So I was like, can y'all see y'all for a minute, step in my office? And they were like, okay. I said, listen, I know y'all trying to, do this, that, and the third. She wanted to be yay high and yay wide and yay this and, to bookend me. I said, I have a friend in DC. I said, she don't look nothing like me. Okay, she's short and curvy. I'm tall and thin. She's a little browner than me. I'm a little lighter. She's a little this and I'm a little that. I said, but we've been singing together for the last 3-4 years. We sing with Gene. We do this. We do that. We've been in bands together and we lock. So if that's what you're looking for, you know what I'm saying? Then let me call her. They were like, hey, why not? Because at this point, they sick of looking at girls. They sick of this. Come on already. We got a deadline. We got to pick the girls and we got to get it moving. So I called Jen. I guess it was about 3:30 something. This is significant because I said, Jen, get sick right now. Headache, cramps, something right now. She was like, what's going on? I said, I'm in New York, right? I'm still here. And, they want to, and they're looking for another girl. And I got you an audition. So they're going to call you back, just be ready. That's all I said. I didn't tell her what she had to sing. I didn't tell her nothing. I said, because I already knew. I knew she would come here and fall right in, right? So I was like, look, get sick right now, right? Because Jen kept a day job. She ain't played that gig and shit. She kept a day job. So, and I said, go home, snatch it up, and, be ready. So a few minutes later, they called her. She was on a plane, sent a limo for her, got her to Skyline. She walks in. I was like, hey, girl, we all, okay, it's on now. So we get in there. Now they give me all this complicated stuff to sing. By now they tired. They're like, okay, let's just see. So they sing Make My Funk the Chic Funk, right? Which is like a nursery rhyme compared to all the other stuff, right? So it's make my funk the chic funk, make my funk the chic funk, make my funk the chic funk. That was the line. I was like, that's all y'all gonna make her do? Like, really? Because as far as they were concerned, well, you sing everything. So all we just need another girl to go with you. So if she could just sing that, we're golden, So I was like, well, ain't that some shit? Okay, whatever. So, of course, we blended instantly. We sounded great instantly. Jen was an accountant. I say was because unfortunately she passed last year.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
She just recently passed, but she was an accountant, really good with numbers, right? That is my Achilles heel. I need a calculator and a pen and pencil in 5 minutes to figure it out. She's one of them in the head. Well, by the grace of God, like that was enough for them. They were like, we blended. We were already friends. We already sang together. She walked in, snapped to the grid. They were like, yo, this could work. So they were like, okay, let me do some kind of check. They were like, so something, they asked some question about the divide of 3 people. And the answer was 33 and a third, right? And when they asked her the question, trying to slip her up, she was like, oh, 33 and a third. They were like, boom, that's it. Like,
That was it, huh?
That was it. That was it. Wow. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad they didn't ask me that. Because in the moment, I probably would have been like, carried a 1, But Jen was an accountant. That was one of the things that she did. So she was like, yeah, 33 and a third. So then she was hired on the spot. The rest is history.
Yeah.
That's how the 2 of us got in the group.
So after you've moved on from Chic, right? you started doing your own, pursuing your own solo things, right? Is that kind of where you are right now with your music and writing and performing? And I mean, I know we're in a whole different
Whole
realm and a
different world,
different
yeah.
age, than back in the chic days and stuff like that. What's music for you now? What is it representative of you now? Like,
Even through some of my chic time, I was, doing singles. Like I had a really successful dance single with Jonathan Peters called All This Time, and another one called Mr. Man. And, I was kind of doing stuff like that, singing on projects and things, because I've always had the freedom to do that. I was never
yeah,
locked into a contract that I couldn't do other things, right? So I was singing with all kinds of people, singing on different records, singing with different stuff. Once I realized that this is what I'm supposed to be doing, I always thought that, I'll say this, I come from the age of, the being discovered, right?
right,
And I
right.
always thought I would kind of be discovered. So then when Chic happened, I was like, okay, now we're on that trajectory, because they also said that they would probably get us solo deals and produce us as solo acts and branch out even from this, right?
Mhm,
Which
mhm.
almost happened when Nile got ear candy. And he was, doing that whole bit. This was years later, but this was like, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but it was a little, I think it was before, might have been right before Bernard passed, but in any case, I always thought that you know, I would go from that to being, signed by this one or signed by that. I really did, because
Mhm.
I'm with Chic and with Warner Brothers. It was the equivalent
Yeah.
to when Tony Braxton got with Babyface, and when,
Right.
this one got with that one. And to me, that was what I needed. That was what I needed to do. Then in Chic, even though there was another girl, I was treated as that lead singer because I had that skill set.
Mhm.
Yeah, I could ad lib on demand. Yeah, I could talk to an audience on demand. Yeah. And they didn't know that, for like, even that came as a surprise. We went down to the China Club one night to sit in, and all these singers, Fonzie included, that were on Chic Records prior to me, were all hanging out. We were all hanging out at the China Club doing, they asked us to sit in. Now pulls us in the back and says, hey, we're gonna do Good Times and We Are Family. But he tells Michelle Cobbs and Lorelei McBroom and all of them to sing the lead. And I was like, what? Like, I was in my feelings, because I'm like, you mean I, for the last 3 months now, I've been your new
Yeah,
girl,
yeah.
and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just told, but I was like, okay, come, just have some,
Ooh.
follow the protocol, because
That's deep. That's
they on the
deep.
records, they
Yeah.
did the,
Yeah.
so I,
That's
okay,
deep.
we got to doing, I think it was We Are Family, and Michelle accidentally came in with the second verse and not the first verse. Meanwhile, the entire audience is singing the first verse. So picture it. We're on stage, and dun 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 bum 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 bum. And she goes, living life is fun. And everybody else says, everyone can see. And then when they, the
Yeah, yeah.
words,
Yeah.
so then we played it off, right? We played it off. And I saw a moment, because she was like, oh shit, like she realized it, but she kept singing. Niall and Bernard just kind of laughed it off, which they were good about that. When you made a mistake, they didn't lose their minds. They just said, do it
Yeah.
loud and wrong and you'll never do it again. They were right
Right.
about it. So we loud and wrong. She's singing the wrong verse. So I grabbed a mic from somewhere. I don't know where it was. I think I might have had one just to sing parts with. And so I went up to her, put my arm around her. I said, girl, let me tell you something. Everyone can see we're together. Crowd went crazy, because now we're singing the right verse. And when the gig was over and I looked at Niall, I said, that'll teach your ass not to let me sing. Bet you won't do that shit again. Okay. And I know he was like, no, she didn't. But, and I don't know why that happened that way. Because had
Yeah.
she not done that, I'd have been standing in the back, singing along like everybody else, being the good little artist, not raising no trouble, and da 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 da. But I was like, did he really not tell me to sing that song?
Mhm.
Now,
Mhm.
mind you, we've been doing the Chic-ism record. So he probably thinks, well, everybody knows We Are Family.
Right.
But I've never heard her sing that.
Right.
So let me not put my new singer on the spot. I'm like, clearly they didn't tell you who I was before I started singing for you. But you know, you know how many times I've sung "We Are Family" before I got in Chic? Are you kidding
I
me? You
can't. I can't.
can't
I
be in
can't
a
even
band.
imagine.
You
Yeah, I
can't
can't
be
even
in a band
imagine.
and don't sing that. It's right up there
Yeah.
with "Respect" and all them other
Yeah.
songs that you just have to know. So, long story short, you know, I think that too gave them a thing. So now I have always thought you cut your teeth with Chic, with Gene Carn, with all kinds of, you know, other people that you've been able to record with or for. I can't wait to get to do this for me.
Good
I
for you.
can't wait till I can call the shots. I can't wait till
Yeah.
I can realize my vision. I can't wait till I can pull out all the stops for what I'm doing because
Yeah.
in Chic, I'm the choreographer, I'm the stylist. Because that's another thing. You think we were hard on your book when we were
Yeah.
getting ready to shoot the video and do photo shoots, and they were bringing us books of people to look at, and they were very fashion forward and stuff. But it was like, we're not doing the Botsy twin thing. You will
Mhm.
not dress us like bookends. We're
Mhm.
completely different body types. And we kept looking at books, and they were cute. And I was just like, I wouldn't wear that.
Mhm.
I definitely wouldn't wear it on stage.
Mhm.
And I said,
Mhm.
Nile, can you just give me the budget and let me take care of it? What did I say that for? I went shopping down in the village, dressed us for the next 20 years after that.
That's very cool.
You know,
Very cool.
so
Very cool.
my doing fashion shows, my
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
all of
It
that,
all.
you know what I
It's
mean?
you did a
It all came
360.
together.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
360 from the beginning.
when it was time to hold on, Papa. When it was time to go to the audition, like I said, I was ready to present.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I knew that I was stepping in up with the big boys. Now I'm about to come up there what they doing. But I've worked hard enough to be the new kid on the block that's about to get with the old heads and the veterans, you
Mhm.
know, to really get this thing under my belt and let me bring everything I know. So
Mhm.
now I get to do that for me. It's hard. It's why I'm busy all the time
Mhm.
because doing that for you is what that means. I'm not in the wealth state where I can just hire people to do all these various
Right.
things. But I'm in a place where, you know, I'm the decision maker
Yeah.
and the creative decision maker too. And while I welcome ideas from my band members and from people that work with me, and I get their opinions and I say, you know, well, this is what I was thinking, but I don't know, maybe I should do this, or maybe I should wear that, or maybe I shouldn't sing this, or I should sing
Mhm.
that, or I want to have a guest on the show, should it be this type of person or that type of person? You know, I bounce those things off of you know, off of my small team and we get it done. But at the end of the day, I have to live with whatever decision it was, good, bad, and indifferent. But I
Mhm.
tell you, people ask me all the time, you know, would you go back to Chic now? Would you go back and do it now? Or what if this now? And I'm talking pre-COVID now, not now.
Right. Right. Right.
Pre-COVID before the world went crazy. And to be honest, um, I go when they call me to come do certain things. You know, there's no
Okay.
one like the girl who is now in my position. Her name is Kimberly Davis. She's a wonderful singer. But when Kim can't do the gig, there's nobody else to call but me.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But
Mhm.
um, so when they need me to do something, I'll go. Niall and I still talk, you know, from time to time. And when, you know, I need to be included in something, I am. Would I go back to what it was? No, because I want to do it for me. I want to
Yeah.
do, I would rather have my own headlining gigs than to
Yeah.
sing with anybody else's group
Good for
because
you.
I did it for so long.
Yeah.
And it
Good
was
for
great.
you.
Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. If I had to do
I
that all over again, I would
I
in a
know. I know. I know.
Nile and I got to the point where I was like, yes, meet my guitar player, Nile Rodgers, and my
Right. Right.
bassist,
Right.
Bernard
Yeah.
Edwards. You
Right.
know what I mean? And as far as I'm concerned, they was in my band. Okay. But no, but you know, but it was a tremendous, hold on, my dog is giving me
Okay.
company. Hold on. Hi, say
Uh,
hi, guest.
I gotta throw
Hi.
that in there. I gotta throw that picture in
Yes,
there. I
that was
love
at
that picture.
Hollywood
Right.
Bowl.
Right. Right.
We had just
Right.
come off stage. We were gross and sweaty. And so I was like, can
Right.
I take a picture? I had no idea that picture would live to be on things because you could see
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the face. I was like, what?
A great picture. That's a great picture. You
But
know what I
that was
mean?
in the backstage at Hollywood Bowl, you know. I
Yeah.
don't remember what
So
year.
so So now, obviously, we're in a whole new realm of music and COVID, and none of us really know where it's headed.
Yeah.
What are you feeling? What do you have any predictions, any feelings, any concepts? Where do you think we're
Yes.
headed musically? Any
Well,
insight?
funny you should ask because I've
Yeah, let
got
me hear.
something up my sleeve.
Tell
Well, first of all,
please tell everybody.
okay. As you know, I have my show Feel Better Friday, which comes on every Friday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's on Facebook Live, it's on YouTube, and we're also on local television here on DCTV, which you can also see online. So
Okay.
there's that, right? And normally we've been doing it for the last 4 years. We host it here in the loft, and and I have surprise guests come. So everybody from Will Downing to Gene Carn to Howard Hewitt to Rasan Patterson, all kinds of people have come right here to the loft and
Fantastic.
done the show. And
Fantastic.
and so we're trying to keep that all going. And when COVID hit, I used all my canned shows. We stopped filming, of course. Everybody stopped traveling and everything because, of course, everything's shut down. Nobody's gigging anywhere. Nobody's doing anything. Everything's closed.
Yeah.
So we had canned shows because I take off in July and August and still want to keep shows going. So I used all of our canned shows, and now we're, starting to film again and do stuff and keep what we call encore presentations, which is
Okay.
fancy for reruns, but we keep showing that now. Um, I have been doing a lot of things on Zoom for other people. I have done funerals, weddings, shows. I've been on, Asher and Simpson's Sugar Bar on Thursday night. I've done different things like that all through Zoom because
Wow.
now we do have to figure out a way to virtually gig. And for me, Feel Better Friday, I was already doing that. Feel
Yeah.
Better
Yeah. You were.
Friday was our
Yeah.
way to literally in the middle of the day give
Yeah.
people a break so you can breathe and let your head down, get a feel good moment, and then go back to whatever the hell was stressing you out and wearing your nerves, right? That was the purpose.
Yeah.
When I'm doing a gig, you got to buy a ticket for the
Mhm.
costume changes and the production and da 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 da. Feel Better Friday was a let me throw on a t-shirt, let me go sit by the piano, let us play some music and just make y'all feel better for just I know you going through something.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
gonna sing
good.
this song, I'm gonna invoke
That's
some
good.
good energy, and then I'm gonna hop off and let y'all get
That's
back to
good.
it.
That's
And that's
good.
how it started. It was also a way to be more present and a little bit more raw on social media because I was told,
Mhm.
you got to connect. Everything is so polished. You need to just push the live button and and at the
Yeah.
time we didn't have a live button for a long time. Well, when we got
Right.
one, it was like, just do it. You don't need all the production, just do it. So I was in
Right.
here with my phone, live like this, no mics, no nothing, being and folks be like, are you singing and working the camera? I'd be like,
Uh-huh.
yes, just watch and don't talk back. And then I went from phone to iPad, then from iPad going, okay. And all the while, Cliff, I was also kind of praying and meditating and asking God about what's next. Because making a
Right.
record as an independent artist is no joke. It's easy
Mhm.
to make the record. It's getting it played. That's
Yeah.
going to cost you a kidney. It's
Yeah.
getting airplay, it's getting on reporting stations, it's getting the interviews, it's getting the gigs. It's
Yeah.
getting the gigs, getting the
Yeah.
cruises and the festivals and the stuff that, they say, okay, well, we want you to come perform, but you got to play with the house band and you just, anything to push it,
Mhm.
push it, push it, push it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do this thing. And my mom coined the phrase "Feel Better Friday" because she is a wellness person, and she she was like, anything I do has got to have a feel better element. So we started
Mhm.
coining the phrase, and this is my feel better cup, and this is my feel better glass, and my feel
Mhm.
better this, and my feel better that. And so I started doing it from our showroom. We design jewelry. I don't have on much today, but new
Mhm.
earrings, this little necklace, and I would go live on Fridays from the showroom and I would, sing a song and put on a fancy necklace and say this $300 necklace is $150 if you hit me by the end of the broadcast. But I wasn't
Mhm.
consistent, and I did it when I felt like it. But I would sing to a track, and people were
Mhm.
into it. And then that led to us being in the loft, and then that led to me inviting people to be here and all that kind of stuff. And now here we are, and nobody can gig anywhere, and we're
Yeah.
taking a risk. And I've already been through my whole bout with COVID and everything because we were filming
Mhm.
and got
Mhm.
exposed,
Mhm.
and I shut it down and haven't filmed a
Ooh.
show since then.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
now it's like, okay, now what do you do? Well, saying all that to say, that I am happy to announce that on March 5th, Feel Better Friday will be going extra virtual. You're saying, okay, so we're
Yeah.
virtual, everybody's virtual. What does that
What
mean?
extra? What is
Extra
extra? Yeah. Tell me
virtual
what extra. Extra.
means
What's
that we're
extra?
going to be on a platform where I can perform live in real time
Okay.
with my guests who are in their respective
Oh.
places in
Okay.
real time without
That's
being in the
cool.
little Brady Bunch boxes.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay.
It's a little bit different. There's a Black-owned company. Shout out to Eric Parker and his whole crew who created something called Virtue Live. And Virtue Live is a software basically that allows musicians to play together from literally different places. Like, I don't just mean down the street, different places. I mean, I'm going to pull somebody from LA and pull somebody
Yeah.
from North Carolina and pull somebody from DC and pull somebody from New Jersey and have a gig. And I may be able to
Yeah.
pull somebody from Canada, you
Yeah.
know,
That's
or
very
from
cool.
another country. And so they figured it out. They figured it out before COVID hit.
Yeah.
And we are partnering with them. I think March 5th, not this Friday coming, but the Friday after, will be our first time going live. This is the first time I've said it in interviews. If I haven't put up I haven't even said anything yet. So you're the
Okay.
first person I've told publicly that that's
Yeah.
what is happening. I'm extremely excited because now, you know, never mind that the technology is great, even though Zoom has its challenges and WhatsApp and all those things have its challenges. The fact that we have it at all, the fact that I can talk to you like this right now
Yeah.
is a blessing unto itself. So what we're missing is the personal contact, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
not being able to feed off the audience and to feel
Absolutely.
somebody react, or to when somebody gets some, ooh, that's my song.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you know, we don't have that now.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's going to be a minute before we get it. But on this platform, I'll be able to see the audience. I'll be able to comment directly while I'm live performing. I am so excited to try this
That's very cool.
because
That's very cool.
while it is not the same by any stretch of the imagination, nothing is the same.
Nothing is the same.
Nothing is the same. And the important thing about that is that I do want concerts and festivals and things like that to come back because I miss the human contact.
Yeah.
But I think that we got lazy. I think that we got complacent. I think that we mistook how easily, if it wasn't COVID, it was going to be something,
Mhm.
right? It was going to
Agreed.
be at some point.
Agreed.
Because we got lazy, we get
Yeah.
trifling, we're not washing our hands and we're not
Yeah.
wiping things down, and we're not, you know.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been guilty myself. Now when I come out the bathroom, I'm trained to wash my hands. Am I
Yeah.
trained to wash my hands every time I touch something?
Yeah.
Not really.
Right.
Even when you eat, you're in the car,
Right.
you're doing something, you wipe your hands off real quick, you hurry. You know, we've all done it. It was,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
you know, we were going to come to a head with all of this. Texas freezing over. We were going to
Right.
come to a head with some of this at some point.
Mhm.
The worst part of it, obviously, are the casualties,
Yeah.
you know, but we were going to get to this point. And I am grateful that I get to be on the side of the technology where I can do something that now allows me to play with fellow musicians and probably play with musicians that wouldn't have been coming here to do a gig.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
just the ones that were. You know what I mean? But I have
Yeah.
friends now that I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
we can do
And
this whether you're on a
you're
tour or something or
yeah.
not, you know?
You're on the, the paradigm, the pendulum has swung a different way.
Yes.
And one of the blessings that you have is that you've seen the industry go from this direction to that direction. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying? And you're blessed to still be here, and I'm still be here, and so on and so forth. You understand? And now it's a new recreation,
Yeah.
a new creation that you can experience. It's good. So,
Yeah.
so tell everybody how. I want you to just kind of tell everybody before we wrap this out how they can get in touch with you. Where I know you kind of mentioned it, but run through it again. Just
Yes,
shout out to everybody.
absolutely.
Okay, please do.
So you've got Facebook and you've got Instagram. And even though I do have Twitter, I don't tweet a lot. I'm trying to get better at it now that we have a new administration because I took a 4-year hiatus.
Okay.
But I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Silver Logan Sharp. Facebook, and that's Silver with a Y, SYLVER, Silver Logan Sharp. Also on Instagram and on Facebook is Feel Better Friday. So it's hashtag Feel Better Friday or Feel Better Friday.
Okay.
And
Okay.
please subscribe to Feel Better Friday, the TV show on YouTube. Feel Better Friday, the TV show on YouTube.
And tell
And
people
those are
why
the
they need to subscribe to. Tell people the
main.
purpose of subscription. Some people don't get it. I'm going to be launching a channel, so tell everyone why you need to subscribe. Come on,
You
Joey.
need to, we got to have numbers. And in order to get to a monetization level, in order to get to any sort of sponsorship, any sort of attention that you can take to the next level, it requires numbers and countless subscribers. So it's great when
Thank you.
people watch. It's
Thank you.
even great when you share.
Right.
But hitting subscribe is crucial to the growth of anyone who is on YouTube. Anyone. So if you want to help a YouTube channel grow, if you want to help your friends who are doing social media and doing YouTube in particular, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so that you know when stuff is going on.
Word.
It doesn't
Word up.
cost anything, but it's like money in the bank for those of us who are relying on our social media to facilitate all that we do as artists, musicians, or for anybody who has to do anything through social media. So
yeah, good. No, you won't get telling people. People need to know you won't get junk mail if you subscribe.
And you won't get junk mail.
Yeah,
correct.
you're not gonna get junk mail.
That's already out of the loop, and you
they're
don't
not
get
selling your
constant
information.
emails. Right.
Yeah,
And when you hit the bell, I don't think people realize that when you hit
I don't really know about the bell. Tell me about the bell.
When you hit the bell, right? The bell is to let you know that, oh, Silver just went live, Cliff just went live, his show just went live. So when you hit the bell, your subscriber will get the information first, right? So when I hit the bell for your channel and you go live, I'm going to get an alert to my phone or my email. Now, people are saying, okay, that's too many alerts. Well, you can push it for sometimes, all the time, occasionally. There's a little thing in there where you can sort of dictate even how that works. But hit subscribe, hit the bell.
Thanks. That's good information. That's good education, Ms. Silver. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So in parting, can you give me some words of inspiration or something? Make me feel good. Talk to me. Just in closing. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody needs it. So
everybody needs it. Everybody needs it.
Talk about it.
I would say to you and to your viewers, followers, and subscribers that it is so much easier. And I know it sounds a bit cliche-ish. And I have to remind myself all the time. I have to, with intention, you have to have an intention to feel good, do good, and be good to someone else.
Absolutely.
And we wake up sometimes, and I don't know about you, but I often wake up very heavy of the burdens of whatever I didn't finish yesterday that are going to face me today and going forward. But I also have the mental capacity to make a choice with a different intention. Absolutely. And if you have the intention, first of all, stop beating up on yourself. Whatever it is, stop beating up on yourself. Give yourself a few minutes to go in and check yourself. Wow. And then be done. So, okay, you need to do this. Like for me, you need to work out. You need to stop playing and act like you don't have 20 minutes to get on the floor and stretch.
Yeah.
No excuses. You work for yourself.
Yeah.
You don't answer to anybody. So stop making excuses and just do it. Right. And then I go, okay, enough of that. And if I haven't done it that day, I don't go, oh, but I do go, okay, then you can decide again tomorrow that you're going to take that seriously and do it. So the positive reinforcements without dragging yourself through the mud is more than a notion. We're good at dragging ourselves through the mud. We are good at beating up on ourselves. We are good at playing the tapes of self-destruction.
Yeah.
Now have an intention to, for every bad thing that you pull about yourself, pull a good one. For every negative thing that you have, pull a positive one. My mother says, she wrote a poem about it too, called Find the Funny. Find it. Look for the thing that is positive, and look for the thing, and not to be all, because some days it ain't positive. Some days it's just not. Some days it's like, I'm in a funk. I don't care. I'm fed up. I'm through with you, and you. I don't want to hear it. And that's real too. Own it.
Yep.
Depict it. Why do you feel that way? Why is this? I put a question up on Facebook yesterday. I'm paraphrasing, but it's something like, okay, I'm a sensitive being. I'm a
I
water
saw that.
sign. I'm
I
a
saw that.
sensitive being. You know, I ain't no punk, but I'm sensitive, okay? And I guard my feelings, but I also want I want constructive criticism. Don't let me out there looking crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But don't come at me in a way that what you want to tell me has to be hurtful,
Yeah.
right? And somewhere in there is a balance. And I put something up about the emotion of being mad. Like, I'm emotional and normally I'm cool and I'm usually completely optimistic until I am fire breathing mad. And now I'm so pissed that whatever it was I was getting ready to do today, I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like it. I'm not doing it. You don't piss me off. I'm through. I need, I'm supposed to call somebody and I got to do this. I ain't doing none of it today. In fact, you know what? And it will take my day.
Yeah.
It will take my day. And some part of me needs to resolve it. I need to tell you, listen, that I don't know if you meant to, but that
Yeah.
really pissed me off, or, I felt some kind of way when you said, and there's a part of you there's part of me doesn't care. Like, for example, when I'm getting ready for a show and I'm in rehearsal mode and we're about to do something, if you're not bleeding out, I don't want
Yeah.
to hear it till I'm done, period.
Right.
On the other hand, I can be sensitive to stuff to a point, not on gig day.
Right.
Don't come
Right.
in here on gig day going, girl, I had the worst day. Not today, you're not. Now, when I'm done and said thank you, good night, you can tell me about your worst day. Do
Good
not
for
come
you.
in here with that,
That's
because
great.
now you've changed. And I want to
That's
be
great.
sympathetic, but right now I don't care,
That's
because
great
I
word.
have to focus on this and I get 5 minutes to get this right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Great
saying?
word.
So I'm
Great
very
word.
guarded around those kind of things. But I was asking the question of, how do I not let the being mad at something or someone take my day and
Mm-hmm.
distract me to the point where now you spend all day talking about it? You have played it back in your head. Am I the only one? You have gone
Right.
through all of these emotions when you had something to do today and you didn't get it. And my mother would say to me, see, now if you would spend half that time talking about this, you'd got it done. But you done let so-and-so who ain't thinking about you take up your time today.
Mm-hmm.
And after I'm done feeling stupid, like, wow.
Words of wisdom. Words of
So
wisdom.
now it's like, if you could be mad about this, get it out. I walk around, I circle this place, cussing, fussing, getting it out. And no, you, and another thing, and then you had the nerve to say, whoa, okay, let me get it together. Okay, now, what did you do, Sil? Why did they say that? What did you do to aggravate the situation? I go through the whole gamut, I take myself through it. Then you shouldn't have said that. You probably shouldn't have said that, because then they took it out of context and they said something. You let them have it, and now and then it's like, okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
you have stuff to do,
Good for you, girl.
and so, and that's real, Cliff. I would
Yeah.
not, I would be remiss to say, oh, I just, pick up my oils and do my thing. Child, yes, I do. I listen, got a smudge
Yeah.
stick right here.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I do all of that too, but right now we're in a time where everything is intense.
Yeah.
Everything is intense. There are good things coming out of this, and there are horrible things coming out of this. There are truths
Absolutely.
coming out of this,
Absolutely.
and
Mm-hmm.
there are revelations, things being revealed, things we needed to know. And I'm not just talking about politics and all the racial stuff and all that. I'm talking about the tenacity that people have to get through day by day in the midst of
Yeah.
craziness, and
Yeah.
how from 1 hour to the next, I am a moody person. You can say something to interrupt my mood. Now, I can still be professional, but I'm in my head, I got to hold it together because you don't got up under my skin. But I need to be professional right now and get this done. I can't wait to get to the point where that doesn't take up that much more time. I
Right.
can be a little bit more objective and still do what I need to do. I haven't mastered that yet, but I'm getting better at it by
It's
the day.
coming. It's coming. It's coming.
And it's something that we all have to learn. We all have to learn that at some point, because look at where we are right now.
Yeah.
And when people say, oh, I can't wait till everything gets back to normal, newsflash, there's no back to normal, because it wasn't normal
It wasn't normal in the first
in the
place.
first place.
Yeah.
So now it's like, how do we go forward with knowing this could happen And then like the music industry, the theater industry, the Broadway industry. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is my problem by day? Trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this digital thing. That's your problem. Other people are planning funerals.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so when you think about the perspective of the world, and I you know, I don't profess to know everything. I just know kind of what works for me. I'm a person who lives in around energy positive people, so it's important. Positive
Mhm.
reinforcements. We can beat ourselves up all day, but it takes a
Yeah.
lot more effort to say something nice to yourself. I can go, damn, I didn't get my hair done, but my color show is cute. You know, ooh, my
Right.
little
Right.
stuff growing in back here, and my red is gone. But that's all right. You working this little,
Right.
you know. I mean,
Right. Right.
you know what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
have to balance it out, and some
Yeah.
days are better than others. But I would encourage you. You know what you were doing here. I have always known you to be incredibly talented. You're one of those people that when you decide you're going to do this, then you're doing that.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
know, I wanted to always ask you, why aren't you still doing hair, or was it just one of those
Well,
things?
yeah,
You know,
I think it's probably, if you can relate to this, when you had that moment where you had the other singers that now brought in to sing, and you were like, what about me? That
right,
moment right there.
right,
So I had that moment. For me, I was like, okay, I'm out. You
right.
understand? So, because it's a loyalty thing with me. It's a little different route than you take. So I had invested loyalty, but then all the other singers were coming in, and my thing was like, hey, I should be here. I've had enough.
Listen,
Exit stage right. That's how it was for me. That's why.
and we'll have some of that unrecorded conversation, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, 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 yeah,
because yeah, and those things also give you that point of, okay, it's time to move on to the next thing.
yeah. And then you hang the gloves up.
Yeah.
That's how it is for me. It's just
You
like,
don't
okay,
lose the
like you said,
skill, you
no,
know.
no, you don't.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I need to move on to something else. You know what I mean? I did everything I wanted to do. Yeah, if I get a call back, like you said, I'll go, do this. But
Right.
then I'm
But
coming
I ain't
back and I'm doing
auditioning and
something.
submitting the
Yeah,
book for
yeah,
nothing.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
That
You call me
that's
because
why.
I'm Cliff
Yeah,
Booker. Right.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
And you got to hang the gloves up sometimes. You got to
Yeah.
hang the gloves up. Just like a lot of people when they say let's get back to normal. What is it? No, it's time to hang up the gloves and keep moving forward.
And
It's
move it to a
different.
different
It's
place. Yeah.
different. You know what I
I
mean?
think it's
Yeah,
great what you're doing. You have
yeah,
always been a music connoisseur. You have
yeah.
always had a just defying collection and knowledge.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
you know,
Well,
it's
thank you.
wonderful. You ought to be in radio or something. You ought to be,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
It's gonna, like I said, as we get ready to shut it down, I have to say props to you because watching what you have been doing pre-COVID was
Yeah.
inspiration because you were ahead of the curve. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You were ahead of the curve. So I was like, wow, okay. Before everybody else was kind of doing this,
Mhm.
nobody, when you started, nobody knew about Zoom. What's Zoom? What's Zoom?
No, no.
It's like, what is Zoom? You know what I'm saying? So
I was doing Stage It 3 years
yeah.
ago, and now
You know what
everybody's
I mean?
popping up. They're like, have you heard of
Yeah.
Stage It? I was like, y'all wasn't paying me no mind when
Yeah,
I was trying
exactly.
to
You
do
know what I mean?
Stage It. Everybody just wanted to
Yeah.
go live, and this was before IG even was
Right.
live. This was
Right.
only Periscope,
Right.
Periscope
Right.
in the beginning, you know.
Yeah.
So, and things, it's also showing you how fast things are moving, how quick
Absolutely.
things are moving,
Absolutely.
and how quickly the advancement. You know, I think a lot of it's going to be good. I think this
Mhm.
being able to do things virtually, I hope that it doesn't completely replace being in human contact, because humans need that. We have to be.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We definitely.
And I hope
That's a whole.
this was a lesson
Yeah.
too. I
Yeah.
hope this was a
Yeah.
lesson to people to show you, okay, keep playing and mess
Yeah.
around and can't be in the house with your own family.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
know, nobody saw
Well.
that coming either.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
amazing. And
Thank
thank you.
you. I have to thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart taking the time for me just to share some of your excitement, some of your wow, some of your experiences, things that I didn't know about too, and I shared a couple of things that you didn't know too either. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? We have history, but I really appreciate it,
And I gotta
I,
say,
yes,
the picture you posted of Liz with Liz Nolan, I
yeah,
forgot, I don't think I knew that. See, you was
ooh, yeah,
already rock star
yeah,
by the
yeah,
time we
yeah,
could. I was like, you
yeah.
better come up in natural
That's
motion.
that's when I was just coming up the stairs. You know what I'm saying? That was the beginning of my journey. That was the beginning of
Yeah.
my journey. You know what I mean? You get props to those that you come up. Yeah, 78, 1978.
Wow.
Silver Sharp Logan.
Silver Logan Sharp.
Thank you. Silver Logan Sharp. I'm sorry. I I just like that sharp. I throw that sharp thing in there. It's the sharp thing. Silver Sharp. Sharp.
I
that sharp thing.
I have a tongue twister.
You know what
Silver
I'm
Logan
saying? You know what
Sharp.
I'm saying? Yeah,
Even
yeah,
I
yeah.
had to say it 20 times before I could
Yeah,
get
yeah.
it out right without tongue
That's
twisting.
like, I like that sharp. That sharp. You're my
Thank
sharp.
you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much today. I appreciate you doing this for me. Okay.
My
You stay
pleasure.
safe. All right. And we
Outstanding.
will talk soon. Okay.
Absolutely. Mwah, mwah,
Thank you.
mwah, 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 mwah. See you next time.
Thank you. Thank you, baby.
Bye.